Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be taking a look at their 3D self versus their higher self. So there are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Smokey Quartz. Group 2 is the Amethyst. And group 3 is the Apophyllite. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps for each group in the description box of the video if you would like to jump ahead. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Smokey Quartz. So I'm going to start by taking a look at their 3D self. What are they projecting to you? How are they feeling? Maybe how are they acting at this point in time for Group 1? Okay, so we have uncomfortable. So this could be somebody that is really keeping their distance from you, is presenting to be very guarded, very closed off, is avoiding some topics of conversation, or maybe this is somebody you've reached out to that has avoided responding, or it's just been kind of a limited or strained response. And we also have scorned, so they could be projecting and presenting some kind of anger or hurt towards you about something that was said in the past, maybe an interaction between the both of you, or this could be something where they are presenting as closed off to love or romance in general, maybe because of some heartbreak of the past in their own life that has really got them in the mindset and kind of the behavior of wanting to remain perpetually single, avoiding commitment, avoiding emotional vulnerability. And we also have fixated. So this can tie in again with some kind of wound from the past, some kind of hurt or disappointment in love that is really consuming this person. They could come across as kind of bitter toward a past partner, or maybe even bitter about what happened between the both of you in the past. This can also be an energy of really kind of obsessed with their point of view, not really wanting to kind of see things from your perspective, being just very attached to maybe even this kind of guarded or standoffish energy as well, somebody who's very stubborn, very resistant at present. So I'm going to get some tarot to get a little more clarification about this for you. Group 1, what's going on with their 3D self? What are they presenting to you at this time? Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Hierophant, King of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and King of Swords. So I'm going to first start off by listing the zodiac signs that are coming through here. If you do not see you or your person's zodiac sign, it doesn't mean the reading is not for you. It's just kind of some extra confirmation sometimes of someone you might be dealing with, or kind of the energies at play. So with cups, we have water energy, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The wands relate to fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Hierophant is Taurus. And Pentacles energy, we have earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And with the swords, that's air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So pretty much a little bit of everything out here on the board at this point in time. And so to me, that's really speaking to, in all ways, kind of mind, body, and soul, what they're thinking, maybe the words that they are using. Their actions in the material world and the feelings that they are expressing or withholding at this time, it all seems to be in alignment with kind of this Four of Swords energy of really being on pause, really being closed off, with this King of Swords, very kind of resistant energy, resistant to really talking through any difficulties you've had with this person in the past, or kind of this very just sort of blunt dismissal of even offers of love perhaps that you have given them with this Knight of Cups. This is definitely the energy of maybe rejecting that, just kind of pushing that away, giving very little explanation, being just very cutthroat with maybe the way in which they cut off communication with you, or just kind of blunt and direct refusal of a romantic offer, or kind of these efforts that you might have made to get this person to open up, to explore the chemistry between the both of you, the feelings, the energy between the both of you. With this Hierophant, this can definitely relate to some kind of a marriage that they are still heartbroken over. So maybe a divorce that took place in the past. This can also really indicate some very firm and traditional ideas that this person is holding on to, that they're very fixated upon. Maybe the proper order for a relationship occurring, or something where they're not really willing or able to see things outside of their culture or their religion as viable options in terms of relationships. So they could be projecting as really tied to kind of those more traditional ideas and belief systems. In terms of the Six of Wands, this really ties into also that fixated energy for me, that they are presenting that they feel very confident and very self-assured in whatever this stance is that they're taking, being kind of closed off and resistant to love. They're presenting that this feels good for them, this feels right for them, that they're very happy maybe in this perpetually single energy, that they feel that this is a stance which will lead them to maybe some more success in their life, or it's the best approach right now. With this King of Pentacles, this could be somebody who is really focused on either the appearances of the situation between the both of you, so maybe some kind of disparity in terms of culture or religion that they are really glomming onto as a factor, as a barrier, is just kind of non-negotiable with this King of Swords here. They're presenting that they're not willing to entertain a relationship with you, possibly because it's outside of that sort of template or mindset of what is acceptable, what will fit in with their family or their culture or their religion as well. This can be somebody that is presenting as just very focused on work, not giving a lot of priority to love and to romance in general, particularly this romantic situation with you, and that, you know, they're happiest focusing on, you know, material success, on finances, on wealth, on building that right now. There's not a lot here as far as, you know, this cups, this emotional energy. This appears at the beginning of the spread, but it's almost this energy of this person kind of moving away from this. So almost the more that love is offered, the more that they are presenting in the 3D physical sense as their attentions are elsewhere, their priorities are elsewhere. There's no kind of turn, there's no reciprocity of that. All these energies, they're kind of, you know, with this Six of Wands and also with this King of Pentacles, and they're both, you know, they're kind of like, he's looking over there and this guy's looking down here, and they're looking at other things elsewhere, their own kind of pride even, or some ego may be involved here. You know, they're even with this Hierophant and this King of Swords, you know, looking directly ahead, and then here on this Four of Swords, you know, the eyes are closed, looking everywhere except for at this love offer that is being given, distracting themselves maybe even with things in the material world, concerns in the material world, but at the same time I feel harboring a lot of resentment and resistance over something that occurred in the past, just being unwilling to kind of let go of that wounding, unwilling to entertain new offers of love. If this is somebody where, you know, the marriage and kind of the heartbreak and the hurt from that, it was a marriage to you. If this is your ex, for example, somebody you're divorced from, then this person in the 3D sense is presenting as very fixated on the hurt, not willing to compromise, not willing to communicate at this point in time, very closed off to that. Presenting this energy of being very happy as kind of a divorcee or in kind of a bachelor or bachelorette energy, somebody who's, you know, presenting this exterior that life is so much better since they have discontinued the relationship with you. There's a sense of, you know, again, trying with that uncomfortable, trying to kind of avoid maybe even compromise or talking things through, avoiding even the thought of reconciliation, just presenting that they're very happy with their circumstances right now, and any kind of lingering love that they may have had for you, they are presenting that is gone, that is dissipated. It's not something that they're focusing on, that their thoughts are directed more into whatever world they have created for themselves in the time since you were last with them. And with the King of Swords, a lot of resistance there to talking things through, to reestablishing even a friendship at this point in time. So let's take a look now at this person's higher self and see how maybe some differences between what they are presenting in the 3D sense versus what's really going on with this person at the higher levels, kind of beyond the trappings of the ego and the pride. Okay, so we have unplug from mass consciousness. So at the higher self level, their higher self, their spirit guides, their spirit team, their angels are really trying to work with this person to kind of disconnect from any deeply entrenched ideas about culture, about religion, about what love should look like. And to recognize kind of the potential that exists between the both of you, this energetic connection that supersedes what they may have been traditionally taught. It may be very much outside of the box of what they have come to believe as the kind of the right way to do things. I'm really drawn to this scene right here that almost looks like some kind of a church or a cathedral, some kind of temple here, and so this again is tying in maybe some kind of a religious factor that is this person is just looking at as an insurmountable block, or they're presenting that they've said that to you even in some cases, that they don't see how this could work. You're from two different worlds. This is just, there's no compatibility. Maybe your views on spirituality and religion are very different. This could be somebody who is very religious, or even an agnostic or an atheist, and you on the other side of that could be somebody who is very spiritually based, or in contrast to even kind of agnosticism or atheism, you could be somebody who is deeply tied to religion in some sense. And so there's some kind of a conflict or a seeming disparity in terms of your belief systems with this, which this person on the 3D sense is allowing to kind of come between the both of you. They're looking at that as an insurmountable obstacle where there's no way to get through it. There's no way to see eye to eye. There's no way to talk through it. But from their higher self, they're being encouraged to disconnect from this exterior factor, from how that looks on the surface, and to really, feel into kind of the depth of the connection between the both of you. And we also have alchemical mutation. So this is speaking to behind the scenes, this kind of turning this energy of lead, these kind of pessimistic thoughts, maybe even as far as scorn or heartbreak from the past, any kind of lingering disappointment or negativity, kind of these very self-defeating views on love, that from the higher self level, their higher self is really working with them to kind of transform that into gold, in the sense of gleaning the wisdom, the lessons to be learned from their experiences in the past, so that they can be enriched in whatever way possible by what they have experienced. And that does not negate the pain that happened, but it just means that, it's providing an opportunity. They're being encouraged to kind of seek within, to recognize some wounds that these situations of the past might have triggered within this person, areas within themselves that might need to be healed, including the subsequent just kind of carrying of this pain that has then created this block within them in terms of opportunities moving forward, specifically in this connection with you. And so they are in this process of kind of learning to let go of that baggage, to take the lessons, to allow themselves to be strengthened by that, to strengthen their discernment, to strengthen maybe their boundaries or their barriers, to learn to really take into full account experiences with people, to not hold the experiences of the past against new people that come into their life, but to really, instead take what has happened to them as kind of a lesson, kind of a learning, a way of establishing some new tools within themselves to kind of look beyond the appearances of situation, feel into the energy of things. Maybe, take into account as well, do the actions of somebody, do they match up with the words that are being spoken? That could have been a problem in the past where there were, promises made or loving words spoken, and then actions that were very contrary to that caused this person to feel very hurt, very wounded, very betrayed, and then very kind of, as a consequence, sort of bitter and closed off to love. So their higher self is in this process of kind of helping them, encouraging them to work through these things, to kind of almost sift through these things. I'm kind of feeling this energy of when somebody goes and they pan for gold, like let's say at a river, and they pick up almost this dish of all this silt, and then it's a process of kind of shaking the silt over a filter or a screen in order to kind of allow the sediment and the debris to kind of filter away. And then what you're left with are, these little flakes or even nuggets of gold, the treasure amongst what otherwise would have just been hidden and kind of buried beneath these murky and indecipherable layers. So that feels like a process of what is happening here. This person is kind of, you know, things are being triggered, things are kind of being brought up. This kind of silty material is being brought up from their subconscious, and they're in this process of having to really shake things up within themselves, create some change. Their higher self is trying to, you know, initiate that energy of change so that they're not just carrying around all this extra weight and this baggage from disappointments of the past, that they can really gather the wisdom necessary and use that to empower them on their journey forward, and then leave behind kind of the more of the difficult or painful experiences or sensations, because they're at a point, their higher self is trying to encourage them that they don't need to carry this around with them any longer. They've carried it around for long enough, and it is now coming at a point of being problematic for them. By fixating on this energy, to continue to fixate on it, the experience of the past, it's just kind of, it's poisoning this person. It's kind of leaching toxicity into their life and into their experiences. It's serving as kind of a barricade that is keeping happiness, and it's keeping new opportunities at bay. It's kind of creating an isolation within this person where almost self-protection mechanisms that were very necessary when this pain was fresh and new are now at the point of almost disserving this person. Disserving, you know, being of a disservice to their higher good. It's something which is really depriving them of truly moving forward and experiencing the bounty and richness that life has to offer going forward. It's almost this energy of kind of being stuck or dwelling in the past that their higher self is trying to dislodge them from so some momentum can happen. And we also have initiation by water. So this can really speak to their higher self working with them to purge out some of these emotions, some of the hurt, the sadness, the pain, the mistrust that they've been carrying around with them. This person could be very sensitive at this time, very emotional, kind of quick to anger, or even crying a lot for reasons unbeknownst to them. Just a lot of debris that they've been holding within their heart, that at the higher self level is really being shaken loose. Almost like intervention is happening from the higher level, from their higher self, from their spirit guides, their spirit team, that something needs to change. Kind of this energy of enough is enough. You've carried this pain with you for long enough. It is time to let it go, and to move forward with optimism and an open mind and an open heart. So from the higher self level, just immediately here, what might be presented as kind of this resistance. It feels like somebody who is almost clogged in the heart space. This doesn't feel to be generating from a place of malice. It's generating more from a place of overwhelm and pain. This person is very overwhelmed by, and kind of almost in a state of shock still over what might have happened in the past, the hurt from the past. It might have been so intense, or it was just taking such a long time. Maybe they were getting a lot of feedback even from people in their life that they needed to just move on, move forward, not get upset. It's not such a big deal over whatever this was that happened in the past for them. And so instead of properly processing things, they just kind of stuffed that all down. They've just kind of carried that forward. They may even have had these ideas about, you know, it's a sign of weakness to cry, or, you know, the showing of emotions is it's not befitting of people. It's not proper. You know, they could have been raised in an environment where emotions weren't really talked about. People were very emotionally distant. People just kind of stuffed things down, kind of swept things under the carpet and moved forward. And it's just added to layers upon layers as time has gone on and this resentment has gone on. That it's still deeply entrenched, it's still deeply clogged there. So from their higher self, this feels just very immediately of this energy of trying to give you some perspective that they're very overwhelmed, and they're very much, their true self, their true heart is very much buried at this point under layers of debris, which from the higher self level, there are efforts that are being made internally and kind of from the higher realms to sort of free this person from this, but they feel very much in this period of flux, a little bit of resistance even to let go of some of these wounds. As painful as they are, they become accustomed to them. That has become this comfort zone to operate in this kind of closed off space, this little world within themselves. So I'm going to get some tarot to get a little more clarification for you, group one. about this person's higher self. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords, the Hanged Man, Six of Cups, Five of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. So just very quickly, in terms of zodiac signs, with the wands, we have fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The swords is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The hanged man is Pisces. And with the cups, we have water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So the Seven of Wands is really confirming this kind of defensiveness within this person, this resistance to let go of some of these emotional wounds, this baggage from the past. This can also speak to kind of the higher self combating these tendencies of this person's lower nature to remain in pessimism, to remain really stuck and entrenched in the energies of the past, that there is effort being made to kind of fend these things off, to kind of move beyond any of this pain, these experiences, and sort of the wounds that have continued to fester within this person. As far as the Seven of Swords go, to me in this instance, this is really speaking about taking the wisdom from experiences of the past and leaving the debris behind. That not everything can move forward with this person. Not everything from the experiences of the past is for their higher good. They can't continue to carry around all of that energy of hurt and disappointment. And so it fits in with this alchemical mutation here in terms of efforts being made to kind of sift away, to clear away at the clutter, and to really identify what is worth keeping, what is the lesson here? What is the takeaway here? How can the experience of the past be utilized to make this person better or more enriched or wiser going forward? The Hanged Man here, we've got this seeing things from a new perspective. This is almost this process that is happening within this person, that as this debris is being cleared away within them, they're starting to see things in a new light. They're starting to recognize how they may have almost punished you for some instances of heartbreak that they had experienced in the past. It could have been almost where they just sort of came into this connection or into meeting you with kind of a defeatist attitude with the Five of Swords here. Just already, had pre-decided that it would end badly, it wouldn't work for them, just all of these stories and these narratives that they had been holding on to of this kind of loss and defeat in love previously, where maybe they felt betrayed or they felt tricked in some form. And so as they are again gaining this clarity with this Ten of Cups here, that the actuality, the true nature of what they are experiencing with you or have experienced with you in the past, it's a lot more in alignment with solace and with harmony. They're starting to recognize how they may have kind of misjudged you. This feels like slowly but surely this kind of truth is coming to the surface as they are in this process of kind of sifting away and moving beyond these illusions within themselves. With the Six of Cups here, this can speak to both this desire that is starting to take shape, take form within this person. Also in conjunction with, on this card, how he's kind of looking back at these people. This was a fight where this is the victorious person, these are the ones defeated, but still looking back on that, not just kind of moving forward. And so this can really speak to, again, this person really starting to look back on what occurred between you both in the past, how they may have just quickly dismissed this kind of self-sabotage, the potential for happiness. They're starting to recognize that. They're starting to see how these wounds, these coping mechanisms, these defense mechanisms are now reaching the point of self-sabotage, that they are kind of pushing away or squashing opportunities to kind of replace some of the weight of the unhappiness that they've been carrying around with them, with the energy of joy and satisfaction and contentment. And so the Six of Cups can also relate to, again, a previous love, some kind of young love, something from their past, where, you know, they may be feeling that, you know, it might have been kind of immature things that were going on between the two people, you know, just betrayal and deception and, you know, emotional immaturity. And so this is really speaking, though, with the Six of Cups to the Ten of Cups, of this process of maturity, this process of really wanting to open up and dive deeper into their emotional body, learning to trust in love again after being kind of closed off and pushing things away. So in terms of their higher self, what is really happening is a lot of clearing is being done. Clarity is coming to this person. They're looking back on this connection. They're starting to see things, see how they've treated you, the energy that they've been in. They're starting to recognize how they really have been defeating themselves. This has been the energy of self-sabotage, that this has not really served their higher good. And they're starting to see that something needs to change. They can't continue to operate from this state, from this combative and defensive state, both in terms of as it relates to you and even just the potential of romance and love in general. There's a desire that is being unearthed within this person, that they truly do want commitment. They want happiness. They want love, contrary to what they, you know, this very stoic exterior that they may have been presenting of being very happy as a single person, not wanting to commit. That at the heart of that, at the root of the matter, there's just a lot of wounding and pain surrounding that. But they do have this desire for harmony, for balance, for, you know, closeness, for community. For some of you, that'll even be kind of, if this was someone you were married to in the past, this can even indicate almost the reunion, the reconciliation, kind of bringing the family back together if you have children with this person. So I'm going to get some messages now from their higher self for you. Group 1, what do they have to say? All right, and they say, my beliefs are changing. So that was coming up in terms of some cultural beliefs, maybe some religious beliefs, or even kind of pessimism as far as love is concerned. And this is really indicating, or it's a confirmation of that change, that shift, kind of sifting away that debris, seeing things like with the Hanged Man from a new perspective, opening their heart, opening their mind to what is beneath the surface. Recognizing their own kind of behaviors and how they may have been kind of holding you accountable for things that had occurred in their past. Or even if this is somebody you were with previously and they were just kind of closed off then to the possibility of reconnecting. They're starting to soften to that. They're starting to recognize kind of this mirage that they have been presenting, that they are very content, very happy in kind of the energy they are currently sitting in, that there's this nostalgia, there's this desire for closeness, thinking back on the fond memories, a desire to really give it another go, to try again in a place of being more healed, having released kind of the wounds and disappointment, recognizing the maturation that has occurred within both of you, and really working to be more emotionally vulnerable, emotionally available than they may have been in the past. And we also have ascended masters are guiding you. So confirmation there of their higher self their spirit team and their angels really working with this person to help them kind of feel and process and release some long-held resentments, long-held debris from disappointments of the past. That this is something where this person may have been very resistant to doing this healing work on their own, and so it's almost, we saw that earlier with this energy of divine intervention happening, like enough is enough. This person has carried this around long enough. Something needs to shift, something needs to change, not just for the benefit of this connection, but for this person's well-being overall, that the time is now, the circumstances are right. This can't be swept under the carpet anymore. It can't be avoided anymore. This is not sustainable in the long term to continue to carry on in this energy of kind of bitterness and hurt and pain. And they also say our meeting was not random. So this person is, again, starting to get this perspective that perhaps the incident with you, or the interaction with you, that could have been almost like the straw that broke the camel's back, a true opportunity for happiness that was sabotaged by this person's kind of resistance and these belief systems, and kind of holding on to bitterness and pain. And so they're starting to recognize that this has really catalyzed them into this place of needing to sort through and sift through what has been going on. They could still be feeling you energetically. That Six of Cups getting reminders of you, thinking back on memories of you, and this can be something which is very triggering for them. It's very frustrating for them. Why can't they just completely move forward? They could be presenting, again, this very detached and very comfortable with where their life is and the decisions that they've made. No desire to kind of change or do anything different. But on the inside and from the higher self level, there's a lot of thought going into this. There's a lot of thought into the ways in which, they may have really kind of sabotaged an opportunity for happiness for themselves, which is that key to unlocking that door to why, the motivation. Why would they do this? What could be gained from that? And so it's something where also with that Hanged Man, they're really recognizing how the situation with you, the dynamic with you, the energetic connection with you, it's continuing along with their spirit team and their higher self and their angels to really motivate this person to shift, to change, to do something different, maybe drastically different from how they've been living their life previously, to really address some things, to get that healing work started, get that healing work going, that process of sifting through, finding the lessons, taking the wisdom out of the pain of the past so that they can move forward more empowered and wiser than they were before. And we also have passion games. So to me, this is really speaking about just kind of the illusion that this person is presenting. From their higher self, they're letting you know that if they are appearing disinterested, cold, aloof, very unattached, that this is just a mask. It is a facade. That beneath all of that, there's a lot of passion for you. And it could be very overwhelming for this person. It's, again, triggering some of these wounds within them that are needing to be healed, are needing to be addressed. And so it almost feels like kind of a cat and mouse game that is going on here, what they're presenting and how different that is from what's really going on in the inside. So this can also be encouragement to kind of, as much as possible, try to take a higher perspective beyond what is being presented in the 3D, to really feel in energetically, get in touch with this person at the higher self level through meditation or through intention. If you're meeting with this person in dreams, really with a sense of gratitude and receptivity and trust, take that into account. Obviously, what somebody is displaying and saying in the 3D sense, there's a reality to that. There is a validity to that. It's the space that they are choosing to be in now. Everybody has free will. It's something that they have to make that choice to come into alignment. So that must be respected and honored. But there's also this other component, which is kind of beyond the realm of physical manifestation. It's beyond the realm of what is displayed, what is said, what is withheld. And that has just as much validity as what is being demonstrated. And so I feel that you're being encouraged to really seek to reconcile in your own way those two sides to this person, these layers of this person. And somewhere in the middle, you are also then able to kind of meet and face some wounds within yourself. As much as this person is triggered and needing to do some work and kind of let some things go that they've been holding on to, this is an opportunity for you as well to really do some inventory inventory and see what are some things, belief systems, expectations, loss, hurt, even stemming from this situation or other situations of the past that you have been holding on to, that have been creating almost these unconscious blockages or wedges between you and, you know, the potential for a deep fulfillment in a variety of ways in your life. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you about this situation, group 1. All right, and we have face your fears, release the power of fear. So that ties in beautifully with what I was just saying. At this time, you're really guided to look within, to face any kind of rejection, any feelings of loss, any fear of this person never coming back to you, of, you know, things not working out in the 3D sense. You're being guided to really move into a space of acceptance of the potential that they will make the choice to continue to resist this process, to continue to resist this unfoldment and ascension in this lifetime. And when you move into a space of acceptance of that, you can also open yourself up to receptivity to the possibility that they will in fact choose to do the work. By focusing on yourself, focusing on, you know, your own abundance, facing your own fears, kind of recognizing and climbing these mountains within yourself, digging deep into those layers, you can energetically help this person as well by setting a new vibrational template of what is possible, kind of setting the standard for moving beyond almost these kind of lower vibrational, stuck or deeply entrenched experiences or feelings. And it's not a guarantee then, you know, that when you change, this person will change, but you do then, you at least energetically offer them that possibility. You offer them that chance. You extend that invitation. It's something that you can do for this person while first and foremost doing this for yourself. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 1. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates. All right, so we have H, V, Z, X, R, M, J, and S. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you liked the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Amethyst. So I'm going to start off by taking a look at their 3D self. What is this person displaying to you? What are they projecting to you currently for group 2? Okay, so we have excuses. So this could be somebody who is being very evasive, very avoidant currently. You may have set some ultimatums or made some kind of requests of this person, expressed to them that you have some needs. Maybe ask them about what they want out of the connection. Is a maybe even a third party situation that they are in. Do they have any intentions of leaving this person? What's going on with that? And you can be faced with a lot of excuses from this person that they need more time. They need more time to figure things out. The time's not right. There's other things going on. They don't want to upset if it's a third party situation, that they don't want to upset this person at this time, or maybe there's an element of something to do with children, and there's vacations or graduations or special events coming up, or that it doesn't feel like the right time to maybe uproot a family, uproot children, or disrupt things. They want to wait till the children are a little older. Just any number of things that can apply to your situation, where it's kind of passing the buck off onto other people, not really taking ownership for their inaction, or maybe their lack of follow through with promises that were made, but really it feels like projecting the blame onto other people or other circumstances is kind of the reason for being in a standstill. And we also have unavailable. So this person could be kind of not returning calls, not returning texts, being emotionally unavailable. Again, as it ties into this energy of maybe like a third party, they could be, saying that they're not free to pursue this connection at this point in time, or it's just not the right time to free themselves up from a situation. That it's just, they have to stay where they are for a certain period of time for any variety of reasons. And we also have silenced. So this person could have ghosted you, blocked you. And again, this ties in with this energy of vagueness, elusiveness, wishy-washy energy, or just really not being clear, maybe making promises and not following through on these things, ignoring you, kind of holding back emotionally, not really providing you with any sort of solid answers, timelines, or explanations at this point to what's going on or what their intentions are moving forward. So I'm going to get some tarot to get some clarification about this for you, group 2, what's going on at the 3D level with this person. Okay, so we have the Hierophant, the Moon, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the Lovers. So just very quickly in terms of signs, and this can just be extra confirmation if you hear your sign or your person's sign, but if you don't worry, the reading can still be for you. This is just kind of an extra confirmation for some people, or it can talk about even just general energies at play. So with the Hierophant, we have Taurus. The Moon is Pisces and Cancer. With the Pentacles, we have Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Swords is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And the Lovers is Gemini. So with the Hierophant here, this can confirm some kind of a marriage, some kind of a contractual obligation even that this person is involved in. This can even be, if this is not a third party in terms of another romantic partner, this could even be if you are, say, at a long distance from this person, and they have made promises to come and be with you, to move with you, to relocate to be with you, or to have you relocate to, you know, be with them. And you've talked about this, but they just keep putting it off, making excuses that now is not the right time, or, you know, they have a lot going on with work, for example, and that can be kind of this vague energy where they're not giving you a lot of clear answers. This can tie in with that as well, with this Hierophant of something kind of traditional establishment that is in place, that they are putting their priority on, or they're using that as an excuse. With the Moon, this is talking about, again, this kind of vagueness that ties in with that energy of excuses. They're not being very clear. They're withholding a lot from you, in terms of, you know, maybe a lot of the things that they're saying, it just doesn't seem to add up. It's very contrary. One day they're saying one thing, and then they completely go back on that the next day, or suddenly, you know, something comes up on maybe the day that they are supposed to exact some kind of change, or to, you know, move towards you in some fashion, and then that day arrives, maybe moving day comes, and they have all these excuses why it's not working out. They forgot, they slept in, you know, just any number of things, to where it's a lot going on, more than meets the eye here. And it's leaving you also with a sense of confusion with this Moon, of not having all the details available, this person making just very little available to you. And also with the Moon, this ties into cycles. So this can be kind of a round and round that you've been going in with this person about this, kind of back and forth with them. That's also supported with this energy of the Two of Pentacles here, where, you know, one minute they're really eager, they're ready, now's the time, this is the time to act, and then, you know, the next minute they're kind of pulling away, they're emotionally distant, they have something new that has come up, something that's gotten in the way, or they're just not sure, they're not ready. And this Two of Pentacles can also talk about, you know, juggling you and another person, or even kind of juggling this relationship and something with work, some other kind of commitment in the tangible sense in the 3D world, that this person is at different times giving a lot into this connection, and then at other times almost being very emotionally unavailable, just kind of ignoring this connection. You know, just kind of putting this on the back burner, making you feel like an option, like second choice, like second best, that it's not, you know, their priority is somewhere else, their attention is somewhere else, and you're just kind of left in the lurch to just kind of linger and hang there and wonder. And with the Three of Pentacles, this is talking about very little that this person is giving you as far as solid effort, that they are meaning what they are saying, that they have any intention of changing. With these three people that are on here, they could also, again, be using other people as an excuse for their inaction, something to do with some kind of a structure they have in place, some kind of a material circumstance that, you know, involves other people. And this can be work, this can be family, this can be, you know, some kind of another marriage, or some kind of a commitment or a relationship that they're either saying that, you know, other people are a factor in this, it's not the right timing, there's other people to consider, other people's opinion has to be solicited for some of you about this, maybe that, you know, they want the approval of their family before moving forward in this, and then they just are kind of hesitating at really getting that, at really speaking that truth. With this Monk here on this card too, this is also maybe indicating something as far as kind of a religion, some kind of a culture, cultural factor that they are using as an excuse for not moving forward with this. Maybe a difference in culture or religion between the both of you, and they're using that as an excuse for not telling their friends and family about this relationship, for not becoming public with this, not making a commitment to you at this time to work and build on things, because they're, you know, just kind of afraid of what will other people think. Maybe there's, you know, they speak of a time where they're going to make this known, and then that time comes and they say, oh, well, you know, so-and-so has all this other stress going on, or all these other things came up, and it's just not the right time, it would upset them. So other people somehow are a factor in this, or are being used as an excuse for a factor why this person is not taking more direct action. With this Page of Swords, this speaks to that you're just left in this energy of kind of wondering, just kind of watching from afar, not really being able to see too clearly what the truth is, having to really look at maybe kind of outside sources to gain some information. If this person is being very kind of vague and unavailable or ignoring you, you may be turning to their social media to try and get some kind of explanation, some kind of answers. This can also speak to, your imagination kind of going wild, left to your own thoughts, just left to kind of wonder and imagine what could possibly be the truth of this, understanding that there's more than meets the eye, but not having any kind of real solid evidence to go on, no solid explanation. And so you're just kind of left, maybe even seeing on social media that this person presents to you, they're kind of ready to move on from a situation, on from a relationship, and then you see them, posting all these pictures with this person that they're with, and that, just presenting that, like with the lovers, it's this very, happy couple, they're very content where they are, and that can be very contrary to what it is that they have been telling you about being ready to leave, not being happy, feeling that they would be better suited with you. So a lot of confusion as far as that goes, and also with the lovers, as far as really, I feel that this is vagueness in terms of making this relationship official, or in some way this person's intentions to move closer to you. This person could have also really spoken about considering you a soulmate, considering you a twin flame, feeling this deep bond with you. But then their actions to really do anything about that in the material world are very contrary to perhaps the loving words that they've given you, that there's not a whole lot of equality there between words and actions. So let's take a look at their higher self now and see what's really going on with this person. What are they truly feeling and thinking, kind of beyond what they are displaying in the 3D sense currently. Okay, so we have karmic clearing. So this can really tie into a karmic relationship, a third party. Karmic relationships can also be with family members. It can be with kind of culture, with religion, with belief systems, lifestyles, even jobs, things that, maybe have kind of passed their expiration date or are not really in resonance with somebody's true values, their true core, but they're just kind of going through the motions perhaps to please other people. So from their higher self, they really are acknowledging that whatever this person is using as an excuse or placing a lot of priority on, kind of passing the buck off to in terms of why they are not taking more decisive action towards you, or really following through on promises made. There's an acknowledgement here that this is some kind of a toxicity or like a codependence that is involved in this situation, that this is not truly in resonance with this person at a soul level. This could be largely kind of fear-based, or out of a sense of presumed obligation, a fear of what others would think, what others would say. So instead of really following through and answering the call of their own heart, the truth of their soul, they are very much tied into the expectations of others. And with this reference to clearing, though, this is indicating from their higher self that, efforts are being made from the higher realms, energetically speaking, to let this person know that something needs to change. They could be increasingly getting into this place of being very uncomfortable both with the energy of juggling, and also things are really being brought to light to this person as far as how mismatched whatever it is that they are placing their attention on and giving priority to, how mismatched that is from their true heart, from the truth of their soul, from even how far this is taking them from their life purpose, from their life path, how much this is really serving as a deterrent or an obstacle to them, instead of something which is really enriching them and uplifting them. It's something which is keeping them stuck in a very, like with this Three of Pentacles, a very kind of limited existence. And so they're starting to recognize that slowly but surely. This is almost like transformation from the inside out, seeing things more clearly, seeing people and circumstances more clearly and for who and what they are. There could be even some manipulation or kind of guilt tripping that's going on from these exterior sort of circumstances, maybe a job that tells, puts a lot of pressure on this person, that, they're having to carry a lot of the weight for other people. They're, having to be kind of the strongest link in a chain of others who are not really pulling their own weight. So it's some legitimate pressure on this person to kind of go it alone, to keep things afloat on their own. And they're really being brought to their attention how this is not sustainable. This is not fair to them. This is not for their highest good. And just kind of with that clarity, then they can take some steps to change that situation. As far as if it's even like family members or some other kind of relationship that they're in, things are being brought to light from this person. They're getting these epiphanies, maybe about the true nature or motivations of these people to kind of maintain the relationship, that it could, they're recognizing how it may not be based out of love, but more just out of practicality, and how perhaps expendable or only at the convenience of these other people is this relationship kind of maintained and fostered. So some difficulties could be coming up in this person's life, and they're seeing people's true colors. They're seeing how who and what they have surrounded themselves with is not really supporting them. It is not there for them through thick and thin. And so all of this is serving as kind of the motivation for them to sort of break away from this, to pursue, healthy and loving connections where there's reciprocity, to kind of move maybe more toward the connection with you where, there is more of a balance. There's more of an equal give and take. It's kind of mutual respect and mutual adoration as opposed to love, which is very conditional. And we also have third ray of creative intelligence. So with this card here, and it's this figure, kind of this sort of the base, sort of the 3D, this can be even the mirage of excuses that have been created, and, it's cracking, it's crumbling. And this really is speaking to those circumstances, those karmic relationships or other things that have been used as an excuse, that these are starting to really fracture and break apart. It's not sustainable. It's being shown to not really have a lot of structural integrity. There's this desire with the butterflies to transform, to seek something more, seek higher vibrational relationships, seek a higher love, recognizing that what they have been giving priority to, it's not solid, it's not sustainable. It can't withstand the pressure of unfortunate circumstances or kind of a turn of fortunes, that this is something where, this person is starting to recognize that they may be entering into this period of having a lot of disappointment about people they had once trusted or had, really given the benefit of the doubt to, or had really prioritized over, this connection or other things in their life. And as, the truth of that, these illusions are kind of crumbling and falling away, then, they're coming more into touch with their higher self and their higher calling and the truth of their heart and the direction in which they're being called, which is, through the indication here, away from these circumstances. And we also have power of the divine masculine. So this can be a confirmation if you resonate as a twin flame and you're watching this for your divine masculine. This can be a confirmation of that, of this, just this kind of new perspective that is opening up for this person, regardless if they are masculine or feminine. We all have masculine and feminine polarities within us. And so in terms of the masculine polarity within everyone, which is very action oriented, in contrast to the feminine polarity, which is receptive. This speaks to this person getting some clarity and moving into a space of taking action to change their circumstances, to shift their circumstances, to really empower themselves to move away from that which does not serve them. This speaks too with kind of casting off the illusion, breaking free from these masks, from this facade, and really stepping into this place of authenticity. So I'm going to get some tarot to get some clarification for you, group 2, about this person and their higher self. What's really going on beyond what they are displaying to you presently in the 3D. Okay, so we have the Star, Temperance, Ace of Wands, the World, the Magician, and Five of Wands. So just real quick, in terms of zodiac signs, with the star we have Aquarius, Temperance is Sagittarius. With the wands we have fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The world for me as a reader is fixed energy, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. And the Magician is Gemini. So a lot of major arcana out here in this section. So from the higher self level, there is a significant change that is happening for this person. The star can speak to epiphanies that are happening, some clarity. The star comes after the Tower card in tarot as well. So that can really speak to this crumbling down, the crumbling away of masks or preconceived notions about being trapped in a situation, stuck in a situation, or maybe a partner that they were kind of remaining loyal to and remaining in connection with, despite the fact that it might not have been very mutually satisfying. It may not have been a partnership based on love, kind of a crumbling away of that. This person showing their true colors, or, you know, the kind of very just surface level aspects of the relationship being all that is holding this together, and not a very strong glue at that. As all of that kind of crumbles away, and this person is sort of propelled into this place of disappointment, kind of despair over what they may have put priority on before, and what they've kind of prolonged or kind of put on the back burner, which could be, you know, you and true wish fulfillment for them, following their heart and the calling of their soul. That this speaks to kind of transcending that, moving beyond that there's hope for this person to change, that, you know, this awareness that is coming to them. These can be some very kind of harsh realities, some very kind of brutal truths that are coming to them, but it's necessary. It's necessary for them to see beyond this illusion, even illusions that they themselves were projecting or were feeding into. And after that period of kind of clearing these things away, then there is this energy here also with the Temperance card, and it speaks to, you know, just this balance that is possible, this kind of renewal that is possible for themselves and in this connection in general. With the Ace of Wands, speaks to, you know, that passion, that love. This almost feels like, you know, their compass pointing north and pointing towards you, as they're really kind of seeing the illusions of what they have been investing in, making a priority, and they're coming to know that for what that is. What they are left with then is following their heart and following their soul, and that is pointing towards you, that is pointing toward this connection ultimately, from the higher self level, despite what they may be saying or focusing on, or however they may be making you feel like you're not a priority, you're not second best. The truth of that you are second best, the truth of their heart is that you are in fact number one, that this is in fact this is healthier than whatever it is they have been experiencing previously, even a mindset that they have been deferring to. With this Five of Wands, this can really speak to conflict of the head and the heart, conflict with other people, both conflict that is stirring up in these kind of karmic situations, or even a conflict between a belief system, or, you know, really deferring to what their family or friends would think versus what their heart wants, what they're being called toward. And it's suggested here with the World card that, you know, there will be a completion to this, that a cycle of avoidance, or kind of this in and out energy, this indecisiveness, it will come to an end. And following the World card in tarot is the Fool, which is the card of the new beginning. And so this suggests this person takes this leap of faith, because then next we see them here at card number 1, the Magician. And this is really, you know, taking the tools, taking what this person has to work with, the lessons that they have learned, the truth that they have uncovered and that has been revealed to them about, you know, their heart, about other people in their life, the life that they had built, the lifestyle that they were living, the truth of that, maybe the fact that that wasn't the healthiest environment, or that it wasn't a situation based on reciprocity. And it's taking in all of this truth and this clarity that is coming to this person from within and from without, and using that to really create the change that they desire, to really manifest in something that is more fulfilling, is more in alignment with the truth of who they are, something, you know, a life that is more empowering to them, moving away from this energy of conflict and strife into an energy of certainty and empowerment. So from their higher self, they really desire to nurture this connection. There's a desire here to work towards a new beginning, to take a chance on love, to take a chance in this direction, to experience something different from what they may have before. But from their higher self, you know, this avoidance that this person is displaying, or these excuses that they are making, this feels very unsustainable in the long term. And, you know, just through the kind of the nature of these circumstances themselves, situations are most likely going to occur for this person where true colors are going to be revealed. And there's going to be a shakeup in this person's world, where, you know, it again serves to clear out a lot of what they've been dealing with or giving priority to that doesn't really resonate, is not genuine, is not, they're almost like sand castles, nothing built on a very solid and true foundation, but just built on kind of convenience or even outside appearances. And so from their higher self, there's almost like this quiet plea to have hope that the situation will change, to, you know, kind of take into account, you know, honor yourself, respect yourself, love yourself. If this person is giving you excuses and making you feel like second best, you know, you're worth more than that. You're worth more than just being an afterthought to somebody. And that can be a powerful catalyst of change for this person, is, you know, boundaries and barriers that you set up for them, telling them kind of enough is enough, closing out a cycle with them, you know, telling them that they need to return to you when they have some concrete evidence of changed action, that you are no longer willing to kind of put up with these excuses. So to taking the power in your own hands to move more towards your own fulfillment, to create change necessary in this situation, because otherwise, you know, you may continue on this merry-go-round with this person. And on the other side of that crumbling down, you know, there is hope for renewal, there is hope for balance, as these other elements are really shown for what they are to this person. They will think back on the situation with you, and, you know, the very genuine love you had to offer, love without conditions. And it's something that, you know, it'll become clear to this person, and they will be in this process of kind of working up that strength and that courage to take action in your direction, or at least action in a direction that is more in alignment with who they are. And so this definitely from their higher self is a suggestion to not to continue to wait, or as much as possible participate in this back and forth cycle, but to really, you know, kind of give some pushback even to this person, kind of let them know enough is enough, set an ultimatum and stick with that. You know, draw a line in the sand, and they can either meet you there, or, you know, perhaps further down the road if they choose to do that work. But it does look like pretty major transformation is coming in for this person. It may come in at a trickle, and then all of a sudden gush in, where it's just kind of one thing after the other is revealed for illusion. And there's this sense of, you know, prior to the Ace of Wands, we have the Ten of Wands, which is this burden, you know, and it's so this person's kind of, you know, carrying around these situations, this burdensome feeling of being in a life that does not fit for them. It is not comfortable for them. It's in fact very uncomfortable, but there's almost a sense of obligation to continue in that. And so the Ace of Wands really makes that suggestion that burden is put down, so that this new beginning, in an unencumbered fashion, they can kind of move forward in the direction of, you know, what truly sets their heart on fire. What really, you know, sparks their passion, a relationship that they can grow through and grow with, as opposed to something that, you know, keeps them just very contained in a state of illusion. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 2. What do they want to say? Okay, and they say the setback is temporary and will resolve. So that is really speaking to, in the long term, this person having some kind of shift, some kind of epiphany, kind of releasing a lifestyle, a behavior pattern, a belief system that has kept them in this energy of kind of back and forth. They're in a process of really stepping beyond those illusions, stepping into that truth of their soul and what they want, really in a state of aligning beliefs and actions. And we also have my beliefs are changing. So yeah, that was definitely coming through in terms of any kind of like a culture or religious belief system, what they have been taught that love and relationship should look like. Maybe if they are in a connection, in a marriage, and they've been very hesitant to leave that person, to get a divorce. Maybe this is somebody who, is really kind of culturally had some kind of qualms with divorce. There's a sense of that really shifting, of their mind opening up, that to remain in that situation, ultimately, it's not for the highest good of anybody involved. It's a situation which just will continue to be more and more stifling, more and more restricting. A lot more conflict and chaos will ensue. And so this person really, both of these cards here, it's speaking to this widening of this higher perspective, this change, kind of the crumbling down of the old, so that, kind of this beacon of hope and the new can take shape. And we also have stand your ground. So that was coming through with, barriers and ultimatums, and drawing that line in the sand for this person. From their higher self, they are letting you know that that will be an effective agent of change for them. That really you have the power to break this cycle, to really stand up for yourself, to stand up for what you know it is that you're worthy of and what you deserve. And that can set an example for this person also of advocating for yourself and for, your highest good, for what really makes you feel good, makes you feel empowered, makes you feel worthy. And then in this person's own way, that can allow them to really take a look at their own life and see what ways have they been playing small, what ways have they really been settling for less than they deserve, or for something that maybe is just at the convenience of other people, versus really standing up for the truth of their own heart and the truth of their own soul. And we also have, I'm clearing my karma. So double confirmation there, because we had this card of karmic clearing. So a lot of cycles ending for this person. Relationships could be crumbling, falling away. That could be romance. That could be something with their job, something with their family or friends. So this person really in this process of kind of breaking away from illusions, breaking away from the old, so that the new can be birthed, so that they can step forth as more of an authentic version of self, willing and able to pursue what resonates with them, what makes them happy, what truly is in alignment with them, with their values, with their calling, with their life path, with their purpose. And so this is definitely a process with this person. This is not something that can, happen overnight. This is many layers, most likely, of, motivations for why they have gotten themselves in this situation, root causes that need to be extracted and really dealt with and healed and released. So from their higher self, I think they would definitely tell you to just, continue to hold your ground, continue to, advocate for yourself, embody self-love, practice self-love, set those boundaries and those standards, so that you give this person something to rise to, something to, work toward, to aspire to. You're showing this person something different than what they have experienced. You're showing this person authenticity versus illusion and mirage. And that is very helpful energetically, and even in a literal physical sense, for really giving this person a wake-up call, kind of shaking them awake to recognize what it is that they have surrounded themselves with, and to really evaluate and prioritize what resonates with them versus what is maybe best left kind of in the past. It's time to kind of let it go and move on, so that they can reclaim their life and work toward happiness and fulfillment and enjoyment in this lifetime. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you, Group 2, about this situation. Okay, and we have Epiphany, seek clarity. So this is a beautiful confirmation of that energy that this person is, in this process from their higher self of really starting to see beyond the illusions, see beyond the masks even of people in their life, of circumstances in their life. This is also serving as guidance for you as well to kind of see beyond the illusions of what is presented by this person, see beyond maybe even some illusions that you have taught yourself or you've told yourself about unconditional love, meaning that you sacrifice your highest good for somebody else, or any ways that you have continued to kind of participate in this cycle out of this desire, a very genuine desire and a very commendable desire to be there to support this person, to let them know that you love them, but you're being urged to see clarity where, how is this mirroring maybe some circumstances in this person's life where they are just kind of putting their own needs aside for, the benefit of others. They're prioritizing others' feelings and needs and kind of the convenience and comfort of a situation, no matter how uncomfortable it's become a comfort zone. In the ways in which this person is doing that, what are some of the ways that you have been doing that as well? Maybe, again, perpetuating a cycle with this person, kind of round and round with this person, willing to wait almost endlessly, willing to kind of accept excuses or accept this in and out energy. And with this clarity, you can really set yourself free with these birds here. This is really urging you to speak your truth, to lay some ultimatums down for this person. Tell this person how this makes you feel, what you've been going through. Express your needs, express your desires with this butterfly here. Your absolute need to change these circumstances between the both of you. Your absolute need for clarity. No more excuses. The truth is all that will suffice at this point in time. And so, this is a very powerful transformational process, a process of really taking your power back. You can help to be an example for this person as well, to kind of mimic that, to take their power back, to transform their life. And it's something which, with that clarity, then the road forward will be made known to you after you kind of take that step, you advocate for yourself. Then in the long run, it'll be made clear as far as, if this person does the work and makes these changes, is this somebody that you want back in your life? Is this a relationship that'll work? Or from this place of self-empowerment and self-love, there's always the possibility that your standards could change. The person that you are considering, this match for you, as you lift your vibration, that can change as well. Your perceptions of that can change as well. So Spirit just really guiding you to not be afraid to kind of move out of this cycle that you've been stuck in with this person, that it will be very liberating for you. It's very important that you step into your truth, that you lead by example in terms of the change that you would like to experience in this connection, first and foremost by demonstrating that change within yourself and how you are dealing with this person. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 2, this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates. All right, so we have K, R, S, H, G, Z, Q, F, U, and J. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you liked the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Apophyllite. So I'm going to start by taking a look at this person's 3D self. What are they showing you, projecting to you? How are they acting? Group 3. All right, so we have vengeful. So this person could be expressing a lot of anger towards you, harsh words, saying some unkind or cruel things. There could even be a suggestion here of maybe speaking badly about you, badly about the connection or what happened in the past between you to other people. This can also be a sense of maybe really posting things online to try and make you jealous or upset, to somehow get even with you, or to really stir up some kind of dark emotions within you. And we have elusive, so somebody who could be acting very sneaky, kind of not really portraying the full story of what happened between the both of you in terms of this vengeful energy, really presenting only their side of things, trying to make you out to be the bad guy or girl in the situation, really painting themselves to be a victim, projecting a lot, putting a lot of the blame on you. And we also have repelled, so displaying that, you know, they have no interest in you, no feelings for you, no interest in working things through, really presenting this energy of being very angry at this point in time, and again having no interest in working through things or moving toward a better kind of state between the both of you. So I'm going to get some tarot to get some clarification about this for you. Group 3. What is this person 3D level presenting to you? Okay, so we have the 5 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, Justice, Queen of Cups, the Chariot, and Page of Wands. So just real quick in terms of zodiac signs, and this can even just apply to general energies. Currently, this doesn't, you know, if you don't see your zodiac sign or your person's zodiac sign, the reading can still apply to you. It can still resonate for you. This can just kind of be extra confirmation for some of you. So with the cups, we have water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Justice is Libra, and the Chariot is Cancer. So this person is definitely focusing on kind of the bad times that occurred between you, whatever sort of hurt occurred, some kind of, maybe even this is a situation where you rejected them, and they're very much focused upon that, fixated upon that. This can also tie into that energy that was coming up of trying to paint themselves to be a victim in this situation, really focusing on that, on the hurt that was inflicted upon them or that they felt, really ignoring and not putting a lot of focus on the good qualities, the good times that you both shared, not presenting a very equal and balanced portrayal of you or the situation to themselves, to others, maybe if there's any kind of communication or contact going on with you, this is somebody who is not willing to really accept their role in the situation, or not willing or able to see things from your perspective, but is just very kind of one-sided in their approach. With the Three of Wands here, this fits in with that repelled energy, with this figure kind of turned away. This is somebody who is, again, ignoring the role and the part that they played in the circumstances. This is somebody who is expressing disinterest in working things out, in seeing things from your perspective, seeing things eye to eye, kind of working through this very charged and fiery energy of the Wands here. Somebody who's really holding on to anger over whatever occurred with you in the past. And with the Justice card here, this speaks to somebody who is almost like they have made a proclamation. They've made a determination about the situation, about their feelings for you, and it feels very finite. They're presenting as somebody who is not going to be swayed by emotions. This is somebody who is very much in their head, very much logically based at this point in time. They're not willing to see things from your side. They're not willing to hear things from your perspective. They're not willing to budge. It is very black and white in their thinking. It's almost like some kind of even an unspoken rule that they may have had, or some kind of a standard that they had set. They felt that it was violated in some way, and so there's some element of wanting to punish you for something that happened. Maybe this could even be something where, this person was really kind of displaying some not so nice qualities, maybe wanting to kind of not commit, or wanting to kind of have their cake and eat it too, wanting to have a relationship with you and still be able to see other people on the side. This could have been something where you put your foot down, you set some boundaries, you called them out on that behavior, and they really then just turned it around and kind of projected upon you, really have taken that out on you, that you were trying to maybe control them, or trying to try to judge them, even trying to make them be someone who they are not, or even something where they might have been dealing with people previously who just sort of allowed that behavior in them, just kind of looked the other way, and they were angry or upset that you didn't just look the other way, that you called them out on this, you spoke some truth to them, you asked and demanded for answers. And so this feels something where almost like this person has been caught in a vulnerable situation, kind of this energy of doing something in the dark, trying to be very sneaky, very undercover, not get caught about something. And you discovered this, you found this out. Maybe you had some suspicions, and somehow those were validated, or even just suspicions. And when you questioned this person about this, they became very angry, very defensive, just kind of pulled away, kind of the guilty conscience taking over, trying to make you out to be the problem in this situation, to kind of deflect the attention off of their part in all of this. With the Queen of Cups, this is somebody who, again, it's the look on her face is just, it's just very mad. It's just very mean. And we've got this kind of closed off cup of love. So this person is just very, very closed off in the heart space, very closed off emotionally. A lot of hurt and difficult feelings, a lot of anger is perhaps being projected toward love in general, toward you, toward the situation with you presently. With this energy of the Chariot, this I feel, because this is a card of movement, but this ties in with that repelled energy, where this is somebody who is, displaying also with this Page of Wands, which is kind of this card of the good news. They're maybe telling others that it's good this happened, so then they could break up with you. It's good, they feel better having moved away from you. This energy of movement, it ties in with, moving away from this connection, distancing from this connection, as opposed to working things out, or really admitting some kind of error on their part. Instead is just like, kind of distancing, leaving this, in this energy, kind of with this presumption of things are better this way, that, you know, whatever this was, this situation maybe that was uncovered, this behavior, some kind of unspoken rule that had been violated by you, maybe even unknowingly by this person. This could have even been something where there wasn't necessarily deceit going on, but, you know, maybe you question them about somebody they were talking to, somebody that it seemed like was flirting with them, somebody that is on their social media, and this person, you know, it was an unspoken rule with them to not be questioned like that, to not be, you know, criticized like that, or they weren't going to deal with anyone who was suspicious of them, who didn't have trust. And instead of talking this out, they kind of moved just into this very, you know, cutting things off, moving in another direction, kind of like not allowing you the opportunity to really speak your side of the story about things, but almost this energy of kind of like, aha, I figured it out. You're this highly jealous person and I want nothing to do with that. And so with this axe on this card here, you know, just cutting off the contact, cutting off the communication, just closing down, closing off, not offering an explanation, not offering you a chance to explain why maybe, you know, you were having some fears about this, what had kind of struck you as peculiar about the situation or worrisome about the situation, not allowing you the opportunity to explain maybe some things in your past, some trust issues you had in your past that had really led to this, maybe, you know, extra scrutiny. Maybe you've dealt with people in the past who, you know, have been unfaithful, who have kind of, you know, had people, a person or multiple people on the side. And so, you know, when you entered into this connection with this person, you came with that almost that heightened discernment where you really were looking for red flags in order to, you know, hopefully extinguish situations and recognize those things before it became a huge problem. And instead of, you know, this person really hearing that out or knowing that, they just chose to kind of turn away from this, just looking at this as almost like a lost cause in the 3D sense. Just kind of like, you know, that rule of theirs, maybe they were with a partner who was very controlling, very suspicious, tried to kind of isolate them from friends, or, you know, was just really scrutinizing their every move and kind of creating these projections about what was going on when there was nothing going on. So for this person, that could have been a red flag for them. And this feels like kind of a lack of talking things through, both of you not knowing or seeing each other's perspective, this person not giving you the opportunity to explain yours, and maybe you not really understanding this person's motivation for this very kind of drastic and just quick, just chopping off the connection and moving away, closing off to it, not wanting to hear anything. Again, just this very kind of black and white way of operating within the circumstances and the nature of whatever this is. So let's take a look at this person's higher self now and see what's really going on kind of beyond whatever this is in the 3D that they are displaying to you for group 3. Okay, so we have hold your center. So this to me is really speaking about, you know, this person at the higher self level. They are acknowledging that this person is operating from a very wounded space. Maybe some betrayal that had occurred in their life in the past, some kind of an energy where they were really made to feel that they had to jump through hoops even to prove themselves, to prove their trustworthiness to somebody else, and it was almost just like never enough. And so that became a red flag for this person. They vowed to themselves never to do that, never to be with somebody that would seek to kind of control them or restrain them or, you know, make them compromise their self. Somebody that would make them almost need to constantly and at an extreme degree prove their fidelity. And so this can really attribute from the higher self just this feeling of kind of unworthiness, of, you know, not understanding, feeling themselves maybe to be a trustworthy person. And so when their trustworthiness is called into question, it's something that really, it kind of drags them down. It makes them feel that they're not good enough, or what they're presenting is not good enough, that they must kind of put on a show for somebody else. This can also really indicate here with this mirror that what you are seeing displayed is very different from what is occurring at the higher self level. This is somebody who, with this dove here, is in deep need of peace within themselves. There's a lot of inner turmoil that might be displayed with this kind of vengeful behavior here, this kind of repelled behavior where they're sort of just running, closing things off, not opening up to communication. They're really ignoring some things within themselves, some wounds within themselves that are being mirrored or triggered by these situations. This figure here is just kind of looking down and ignoring this mirror with this, you know, as difficult as some of these things might be to face, that, you know, this is ultimately for their highest good and their ascension here, with this image of this very luminous being in the mirror here. So this can speak to somebody who is, you know, not only are they running from you and running from taking acceptance and ownership of their role in the situation, but they're ultimately somebody who is in a pattern or has a habit of running from themselves, running from the truth of themselves first and foremost. And we also have dark angels. So this can really speak to those shadow aspects within this person. This is somebody who is just kind of accustomed to projecting as a way to sort of avoid some of these wounds within themselves. Some of the things that they may be accusing you of are in fact what they themselves need to heal and fix and own up to in their own life. And so from a higher self perspective, this can just be kind of some reassurance to you that, you know, you're not crazy. This is pretty drastic and unfair, this person's reaction to whatever this is that occurred, maybe even just a simple question about somebody that they were talking to and you wanting to know more, and this person just kind of went to the extreme and cut things off and, you know, was just said some really nasty things to you in the process of that. And that's that shadow, that very wounded core of themselves coming out in an inappropriate way. And it's a confirmation here with this kind of this angel, you know, holding himself, embracing himself, that this person is in deep need to embrace these shadows within themselves, these eruptions that happen, this very kind of projective tendency that they have of placing blame upon others, and really having a hard time of looking within and owning up to their part in circumstances, the role in which they play, that from a higher self level, it's necessary for this person to turn within, to go within. That this behavior, this tactic, this method it's not sustainable in the long run. This seems like somebody who has kind of a habit of pushing other people away when things get difficult, or some kind of a barrier or a line, almost these rules that they have created for themselves, these standards that they don't necessarily communicate to others. They don't have the ability or the language to communicate that it's stemming from a place of hurt. And so it's almost like an internal checklist that they have. So it's very difficult and impossible for people to really honor those boundaries and to recognize these things within themselves, because they've never been communicated. This person just kind of, you know, keeps a tally of things, and when a line is crossed, when a barrier is breached, they're quick to just shut off, push away, and move on. And it's indicative of, again, really running from this shadow, these wounds within themselves. This person from the higher self is they're at this point, and perhaps this situation with you kind of pushing away. This Page of Wands was really just good intentions that you had, really just acting from a place of honesty and integrity and very well-meaning, but this person was unable to see it as that at the time or at this point. But it feels like something that they're going to have to turn that lens inside, that burning bridges and pushing people away, it's leading to a sense of isolation, this disappointment. It's not sustainable. They're focusing on kind of the wrong thing. They're ignoring the potential of fulfillment and beauty and healthy relationships that are around them. It's like misjudging, looking at kind of what is lacking and ignoring what is there. In this situation, in connections in general, in themselves. So this is somebody who is needing to go on that dark night of the soul, the kind of the soul journey, the ascension journey. And we also have divine talents. So I'm drawn to this with this angel and this kind of this lute, or maybe it's some kind of well, I don't know if it's exactly a trumpet, but some kind of a wind instrument here, that, the call is being put out to this person, that this behavior, this pattern of being, that something has to change. And it's a call that this person can either choose to answer, to kind of go within, to do this work with this moon card here, this or this moon on the card, this illumination that is going to come to this person about the role that they are playing, how they're kind of pushing people away. They're pushing away a good thing. They're really holding others in their life up to unreasonable expectations and standards. There's a need here to communicate more with others, to communicate what they're feeling, to communicate to themselves some of this pain and wounding that they are holding within them, to communicate better instead of lashing out. So from the higher self, the call has been put out. It's something this person can choose to respond to. This is also really feeling like the energy here with these two angels of divine intervention. And so this person can either choose to shift, or something will be shifted for this person, where they're kind of the way of being, it will crumble so much that they will have no choice but to go within themselves. Kind of that tower moment, that dark night of the soul, where then they are forced to kind of look at themselves, to look in the mirror, to really get beyond illusions that they may have been perpetuating or holding on to really own up for their part in situations, to stop projecting out, to pointing the finger of blame at others, and instead, redirect that focus within with compassion and sincerity and love, to identify the ways in which they may have contributed to some of the difficulties in their life, how maybe their expectations of other people, if these are not communicated, then it's really an unfair expectation. It's an unfair standard for people to have to live up to when you haven't even let them know what's expected or what you need or want. And so from the higher self, it seems like something is going to shift. This person feels largely still, obviously, as you probably are gathering from their 3D stance right now. They're still in this energy of really ignoring, really kind of looking away from the obvious, from the problem within themselves, the wound within themselves that needs to shift and it needs to change. There definitely feels like an element that this is whatever this person's reaction was here to whatever occurred, however benign or small, it was definitely very extreme, very unnecessary, and it led to, not only a lot of pain and confusion and hurt for you, but ultimately this is not serving their highest good. And it's a sense almost of enough is enough with this, that something needs to change, something needs to shift, and it may come in the form of divine intervention that does that is this wake-up call for this person. So I'm going to get some tarot to get some more clarification about this for you, group 3, what's going on at the higher self level with this person. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups, Death, Six of Swords, Seven of Wands, Nine of Cups, and Eight of Pentacles. So in terms of signs, with cups, we have water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Death is Scorpio. Swords is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And the Pentacles is Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So with the appearance of all four suits out here, this is really speaking to total transformation that needs to occur within this person, coupled with the Death card here, a complete crumbling down of their previous way of being. These old ways are no longer sustainable for this person. Something has to give. With the energy of death, this is largely a force that is outside of this person's control, that it will come when it is necessary. And the time seems to be now that this is a necessary change. Enough is enough in this circumstance. It's something that can't be avoided. It's something that cannot be continued. But in that energy of death and kind of this, with all the elements here, all of these suits here, and just kind of in all different ways, this person's mindset, this person's emotions, this person's thoughts and the words that they use, the actions that they take or don't take in the material world, as all of these things are then subject to change. In that energy is the energy of rebirth and renewal. The old falls away so that the new may rise. And so this is something also with the Six of Wands. This indicates from their higher self that, they're going to start to see things from a new perspective. Something is going to become clear to this person. There's an indication that whatever had been almost like this bee in their bonnet, and that's probably, just really minimizing what was, it seems like kind of an extreme reaction, an extreme circumstance, but whatever has really cross that line for this person that you may not even be aware of. It's something that, some truth and clarity is going to come to them, and their mindset is definitely going to shift. They're going to start to see things. They're going to calm down. They're going to, any kind of defensiveness that they may have presented, their higher self is really working to kind of deflect that, to kind of fend off these almost this kind of negativity and poking that this person, and this blame, these fingers of blame that this person is really pointing at the situation, that their higher self is almost fighting back against that lower nature, kind of that anger and that very ego-based and very kind of narrow perspective, that they are going to see this higher perspective, that they may have really been one to self-sabotage. They may have really compromised their own happiness with just kind of this stubborn, almost smug approach to things. This is not really the energy of reciprocity in terms of emotions. This is somebody who it feels really has expected their emotional needs to all be met all the time, and perhaps had not even spoken of what those needs were, and in any little instance where it was not, then it's just kind of closed off, shutting down, pushing away. But with the Eight of Pentacles here, this is talking about some work that's going to be done. Again, kind of some divine intervention that may occur for this person to really get them on this track of working on themselves, working through some of their issues. With this energy of Pentacles, this could even be somebody that enters some kind of anger management program, does some kind of counseling, something in the material sense where they're learning to even work on some of their communication skills, learning even some meditation techniques to cultivate a sense of sanctuary and peace within themselves. Anything that has really kind of these festering wounds within them that has resulted in kind of this abundance of anger, and then deeply below that, below the anger, is the root of sadness. So things that they may need to work on within themselves in order to experience different results in their relationships and their material world. This feels like somebody who, the experience you've had with them, this is not isolated to the encounter with you. This feels like somebody who is almost in They're used to burning bridges in their life. They're used to being very defensive, projecting blame. This could be somebody who's used to outbursts, maybe, of, just kind of with the death card, even like severing connections, just being done with people, just very quick to kind of eliminate things. But with this Ace of Cups here, this is speaking to a softening, almost like this redemption energy, this energy of surrender, this place of peace that this person is in the process of being moved to. This definitely feels like divine intervention here. This doesn't feel like something that of their own accord and barring, outside extreme circumstances, like a tower moment happening. This doesn't feel like something where this person would change this behavior. It feels very entrenched. Again, a lot of things that they need to work on within themselves. They need to work on in terms of their coping mechanisms, how they approach others, how they respond to others, how they deal with conflict in their life, how they deal even with their own mind, even some kind of paranoia or perception of threat to their autonomy, threat to their satisfaction. Somebody who needs to work on compromise more, or on really seeking to understand and communicate the motivations behind maybe even like questions that are asked, or words that are spoken, instead of taking a very defensive approach to that, to just moving into the space of really hearing other people out, seeing beneath just kind of those surface sort of interactions, to again really decipher what's the motivation here, taking some time to pause and maybe not jump to worst case scenario, or jump on the defensive and really just seek to kind of push things away, but somebody who is in a space of again, with that hold your center and this Eight of Pentacles, I feel cultivating an inner peace, an inner space within them. So in terms of the connection with you, this is somebody to where they have a lot of work to do. This is somebody who's a work in progress. This is not impossible work. And again, it feels like something is going to happen in the outside world, some exterior circumstance, some kind of tower moment. Something will fall away from their life, or a series of things will fall away from their life. That's going to be this wake-up call for this person, that something needs to change, something needs to shift. Redemption will be made available to them. A way forward, a way out will be shown to them. And it's something which this could even be some kind of spiritual awakening that happens here. This person could be somebody who, finds religion, finds spirituality, through some kind of even meditative technique. They could be, activated. They could experience ascension, some kind of kundalini awakening, something that occurs that really presents in a very concrete and solid way to this person that there is another way of being, another way is possible. So as difficult as this is, this energy that they, are operating in and what you're experiencing with them, there is this element that is very beautiful in terms of redemption for this person. This is not a lost cause. As impossible as that might seem, that this person could change, there's something that will happen, something that will come in for this person, directed largely from the outside, that really just cracks them open from within. It really just makes them aware of how they have self-sabotaged, how they have really been their own worst enemy, how they have really inflicted pain and confusion and hurt on others unnecessarily. This energy of hurt people fits into this circumstance. And so it's something that, through that transition, in this also I'm feeling there's a lot of healing that you will need to do in terms of dealing with somebody like this, what you've experienced, the confusion and just the uncertainty, any ways that you may have questioned who you are or how you were dealing with this person. To really, I feel from their higher self, they're wanting you to understand that this person has a lot of wounds that they're dealing with, a lot that needs to be unraveled and kind of rebuilt in a better fashion within themselves, and how they deal with others, how they deal with love, how they express love, how they express frustration or confusion or pain or sadness. And so in the interim, while this person is on this, very personal and what may take them into a very, kind of dark place within themselves, a very low place within themselves, that is the place that they need to go in order to discover that light within them, to, allow that kind of, that light of divine intervention to kind of seep through the cracks of resistance, to allow themselves to be uplifted from the inside out and to create change for themselves, really for, you know, their own peace, their own inner peace going forward, but then also so that they are able to have and maintain better relationships, better relations with others. And even if it was something that you were open to be able to move on to, you know, calmer waters in the future between you, the two of you in this connection. So I'm going to get some higher self messages from this person for you, group 3. What do they want to say? All right, and they say, I am trying to become stable. So this really speaks to maybe some anger management issues that this person is trying to work on. You know, maybe some kind of flux within them, some kind of, you know, mental health issue that they are needing to really get a handle on within themselves. And it's a process of divine intervention, I feel, stepping in to really get them on that path. This is from the higher self level that, you know, shifts and changes are happening, that, you know, this behavior, it's almost kind of reached the end of the line with this person. This feels like something that has cost them a lot throughout their life in terms of opportunities, in terms of relationships, the potential for happiness. And it's something where they are a work in progress. They're going to need to do some work on themselves, but it's not an impossible task. It's something which, you know, with that element of stability, balance might be tenuous. It might be something that takes some time to master. This could be almost a lifelong challenge for this person to cultivate that space of peace, to really employ, you know, some better tactics and methods to not slip back into that impulsivity or, you know, that tendency for anger or rage, but to really address maybe some deep wounds or sadness within themselves, to purge that out in healthier ways with the divine talents. This can allude to some kind of a creative outlet that this person will be turned on to as a way to kind of deal with some heavy emotions within themselves, or maybe a more constructive way to kind of direct some of that very kind of passionate and fiery energy that up to this point it seems has really just gotten away from them. It's kind of out of their control at this point. And we also have time for rest, self-care, rejuvenation, and retreat. So this is alluding to that kind of that breakdown in the dark night of the soul, and this time that this person needs to really go within to find those dark spaces within themselves, the shadows that they have denied, that they have avoided, and really just projected out onto anyone who has come within proximity of that, within touching those wounds or triggering those wounds, that now is the time for this person to really do some inventory on themselves, really do some reflection on themselves, that again with rejuvenation and this death card, that through that crumbling rebirth is possible. This is not a lost cause. This is not a hopeless person, but it is going to take some time to kind of nurture themselves, to nourish themselves, to really love themselves, to love themselves well. And we also have balance your lower chakras. So this can speak to, again, meditation practices that this person may need to really work on or learn. As far as the lower chakras, this can talk to about kind of an imbalance within this person's solar plexus chakra, the power center, which is coming out as rage and aggression. As far as the sacral chakra, you know, that can speak to kind of fears of intimacy that when it kind of gets close to that proximity, they sort of push, or woundings in love in the past that have left them with kind of this distorted perception of red flags that really kind of led to this outburst or this situation with you. And in terms of the root chakra, that can talk about, you know, just this person not feeling very comfortable owning their authenticity, owning the authenticity of their feelings, of who they are in the world, and just things that they really need to be worked on. Kind of this person coming into more of that state of inner peace, inner acceptance, inner balance, understanding who they are, understanding their tendencies, and cultivating ways to kind of combat those things, or to process those things or express those things in a more constructive manner. And we also have you are seeing the truth. So that can be confirmation here that, beneath this exterior, beneath this anger is a kind of a deep well of sadness within this person. And so kind of a consolation to you, maybe a small consolation at that, that, this is, again, hurt people operating from a very wounded space, and to not take what has happened personally, as difficult as that might be, whatever was said or whatever this person is currently doing, from their higher self, they're letting you know that, they have some very skewed coping mechanisms. They have a very distorted perception of how to operate in the world presently. And it's something also with this reference to truth that, again, this divine intervention, this crumbling down, this person's not going to be able to avoid these wounds within themselves forever or for much longer is what it's feeling like. They're going to be forced to go within to see that truth of themselves, how they themselves were, played a very large role in dissatisfaction they have in their life, in relationships that kind of went asunder, bridges that were burned, prematurely or unfairly, that this person is moving into this space. They're coming into a time in their life where, this clarity it's going to be shown to them. It's going to be revealed to them. They're almost going to have no choice but to look in the mirror, to recognize these things, and to do this work on themselves. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now, Group 3, about this situation. Okay, and we have letting go. Learn to let go. So this can be kind of a tough message, but a necessary message that, this might be the time to kind of let this person go, let this situation go, hope for change go for now. There's a lot of transformation that needs to take place within this person. It's going to be a long road for this person to get there. So any hopes of, immediately this person seeing the light and really, coming back with an apology or with changed behavior, that might be kind of remote. It doesn't mean that it is impossible. That may come further down the line, but at least in this point in time, this person just needs this space to kind of enter their own darkness and discover their own light. And so this doesn't need to be a goodbye that's forever. It can be a goodbye for now. Or for some of you, this can be a confirmation to, just it's okay to let go, to kind of close this door, this situation. Whatever has happened with this person, this doesn't need to define what you are able to experience in romance in the future. This might have been a very upsetting experience with this person that has really caused you to call into question your own lovability, or your own ability to have kind of successful partnerships. You may have really taken what this person said or what they have done very personally, and tried to figure out what could you have done better, what did you do wrong, and you're being guided to let go of any of that self-blame, that self-criticism. Step into a place, as this person is needing to embark on that self-love journey, you also are needing to embark on that self-love journey. Let go of any feelings or fears that you're not good enough, and recognize the treasure that your love is, and how the right person will be able to receive that with open arms in a healthy way. To kind of let go, also do some work to heal on yourself, any kind of, residual pain or confusion, or even a tendency within yourself, perhaps to, maybe this person is, mirrors a lot of things that you have experienced in other relationships in your life. Maybe other people, that have anger issues, or other people that, project a lot of blame, and you're really being called to look within yourself and see kind of what part of you is almost vindicated by these things, what part of you does not feel that you are worth something more. And so by entering into, partnerships like this, in some way it's a comfort zone. In some way it feels familiar, and to recognize kind of those wounds and those habits and patterns within yourself. Not even ones where you're feeling satisfied by this, but it feels comfortable, it feels known, maybe something stemming from childhood, from, your home life, and to really take this time to heal those wounds within yourself, so that if you're presented with situations like this in the future, you can more quickly kind of be the one to exercise discernment and close the door onto that. There won't be this subconscious feeling of it's comfortable, it's familiar. And so kind of putting yourself in a position of, allowing somebody to treat you this way. And that's not putting the blame on you. Nobody's blameless in any situation. We're all operating from, a series of wounds within ourselves oftentimes. And difficult situations they can serve as a very good catalyst to go within ourselves, to not take the blame fully on ourselves, to be willing to, take our share maybe of the responsibility. It's not a matter of blame, but it's taking responsibility for, our own internal health and well-being, identifying patterns within ourselves or wounds within us that are almost attracting kind of vibrant frequencies, kind of beliefs that we have about ourselves that then sort of unconsciously attract in experiences that confirm those beliefs. And when those beliefs are stemming from a place of hurt or distortion, we owe it to ourselves to really rewrite that story, to eliminate the old way of being, to, set some new standards, to heal ourselves so that we are putting out a different vibration, which will then mirror in, it will magnetize in experiences that are more pleasing, that are more in alignment with, who we are at a healed and healthy level. So a powerful time of transformation that is possible here, the beginning of that for both of you individually. And this is definitely the energy also of never say never. If this is somebody that, you still have a lot of love for, you have hope for the future, keep that hope, keep it in a little box within yourself while you are working moving toward your highest good, your own happiness, healing things within yourself. And it's definitely the energy of the universe stepping in to really get this person on that path within themselves. Everybody has the free will. They can choose to resist this. They can choose to not put in the full effort. That's something that can't be predicted. But what you can do is you can do this work on yourself so that you are in a space of even putting out a different type of energy, a different type of vibration. You work on some skills and tools within yourself as far as setting better boundaries. Maybe, putting up better barriers when somebody crosses those lines within you, or just being able to disconnect from situations where you don't feel like you're being honored and respected very quickly into the situation, so you can kind of mitigate the disappointment and the pain and kind of the backlash from dealing with other people with kind of these unhealed wounds within themselves. And so the work you're doing on yourself coupled with the work this person is almost going to be kind of propelled into doing, or at least acknowledging on some level within them. That does set up the possibility for, further down the road between the both of you, there is a chance of coming together from a more healed place to be able to work on some of these deficits between the both of you. But at the very least, this can be a valuable experience for you in terms of, understanding that to see kind of beneath and beyond the exterior of what is presented, to recognize and have empathy and compassion for the pain centers, these unhealed wounds that often predict behavior within people. And that doesn't excuse it, but it can definitely help to kind of alleviate and mitigate any of the dense feelings of anger and negativity and resentment that you would be holding on to. So almost like letting these things go in order to free yourself from the burden of carrying that bitterness and that hurt around with you. You owe it to yourself to move forward unencumbered from this situation, to not allow this person's distortion to distort you in ways that really serves to compromise your ability to experience and receive healthy and reciprocal love in the future. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 3. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates. Okay, so we have F, V, A, R, B, K, T, J, X, and you. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you like the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.